ॐ ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमतास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमतास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोडकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। In this text, Hastamalakiyam or Hastamalaka Stotram, we have been seeing the conversation between the Guru and Shishya, in which the Shishya is a realized Mukta, Buddhak Swarupaha, Mukta Swarupaha. He is attained freedom and attained highest knowledge also. And Adi Shankaracharya, in his great magnanimity, it is the showing of, it is the demonstration of his humility and maturity and wisdom, that he is asking questions to his own disciple about the state of realization. Because in Kenopanishad also the teacher says that if you think you know, you don't know. Naham manye suvededi nona vededi vedacha. The student, on the other hand, replies that not that I think I know, but not that I don't know. Because this knowledge, when realized, one comes to realize that it cannot be known with the buddhi. In Atmabodha, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Atmanas Satchidamshascha Buddhehe Vritti Riti Dvayam Samyojya Cha Avivekena Janamiti Pravartate. Atman's nature of pure existence and consciousness, when it is reflecting in the buddhi, which is what we saw in the last session, It is called Chidabhasa, reflected consciousness. You and I are having the notion that I know. If you are keeping a flower in front of me, I say I know the flower. If you bring a computer in front of me, I say I know the computer. If you bring a person whom I know in front of me, I say I know this person. What is that I know in this? This I know has two parts to it. One is the awareness, another is the function of the intellect which recollects memory. So it is called Atmanas Satchidamsascha Buddhehe Vritti iti dvayam. The two aspects to it, one is called awareness, another is the memory of the object you are seeing, which is creating a thought. So that thought is about something which I know. So this vritti that takes place, that is the buddhi. And the buddhi, without acknowledging the presence of awareness, it owns up that very ability to know as aham janami. In this ignoring the awareness because of which one is able to know, not merely because of the memory, not because one is familiar with what one sees, but it has to be lightened up by the awareness. Like, for example, if you are walking in a dark room and you don't see anything there, and when somebody switches on the light and you see many objects there, can you say it is because of your eyes only you are able to see that? You are able to see, no doubt, with the eyes, but without the light, you can't see. So what makes your eyes able to see is not the eyes alone. It is the light that is coming there. In the same way, in the light of awareness alone, all the thoughts are illumined, and which results in the notion I know. This I know is because of the presence of awareness as reflected consciousness. That's why in the previous verse we saw, verse number 7, where Bhagavan Shankaracharya has said, Manaschakshuradir mana viyukta swayam yah Manaschakshuradir manachakshuradihi Manaschakshuradiragamy swarupah Sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma Manah chakshuhu adehe viyuktah rahitah. No, without the mind, without the eyes and all other senses, that which is present in the absence of all of them is awareness. And when I wake up in the morning and start using my mind or eyes, etc., then manaschakshuradehe, of them, manaschakshuradihi, making them capable of functioning as mind, functioning as eyes. But at the same time, it cannot be known by them. Manaschakshuradir agamya swarupa. By the mind, by the senses, etc., it cannot be known. That which is always there, sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma. One will wonder, if you think, you also will wonder, if it is always there, how it is not known? That which is not there, I don't know, I can understand. But that which is always there, how is that I don't know? Because The reason is why we do not know its presence. It is because we are busy with our mind, busy with our senses, busy with the world that is presented to us by the mind and the senses. It is said that when a person is retired and back home, one starts living without going to the work, etc. If that person feels so, rejected or ignored, because at work at least his mind is busy with the work, meeting the clients or working on the projects or answering phone calls and driving to the workplace and all that. When everything is over, that he is no more going to work, no more meeting the clients and others, he is back home at home. And said, nobody knows that I'm here. I feel that I am becoming useless, unproductive, and all others are busy. All others are very busy doing their work. Wife is busy at work or at the kitchen, and children have gone to school or to the work, and everybody is busy. I am alone doing nothing. So feel depressed. And as though one is ignored. In the case of such a person who is always there, but not even noticed. We are all breathing. You are breathing, I am breathing. Are we noticing that we are breathing? Do you notice that you are breathing? Only when I tell you that you start noticing it. You're opening and closing eyes many times a day. Do you notice that? Your heart is constantly pumping. Do you notice that? Your digestive system is going on without your interference. Do you notice that? Your blood circulation is going on. Do you notice that? You are getting old. Do you notice that? Swamiji, don't tell me all those things. It's scary. It is not scary. It is truth. All those things are going on in us. Do we notice that? You cannot say it is not happening. Now, just a comparison. Therefore, the Atman is a constant presence. Nitya upalabdhi swarupa ham Atma manaschakshurader adehe viyuktaha. That which is devoid of all of them. Manaschakshurader manachakshuradihi manaschakshurader agamya swarupaha sanityopalabdhi swarupo hamatma. Whether we acknowledge or reject, its presence is eternal. That's why Bhagavan Krishna also says, Arjuna, you may not notice that you have been there forever and you will be there forever. I have been there forever and I will be there forever too. All these people also. Natve vaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipaha nachayvana bhavishyamaha sarve vayam atapparam. Atapparam, later also, bhavishyamaha, we will all be there. So then, if we are always going to be there, what is that is going to disappear? That which is there temporarily and that which is constantly changing, that will disappear. But that which does not change and that which is eternal, permanent in you, that is always there. That is what I am. This is what Astamalaka says. That is what I am. Changing thing I am not. Here in the next verse, verse number 8, he brings out another beautiful idea. We'll see here. Ya eko vibhati svada shuddha chetaha प्रकाशस्वरूपोऽपि नानेवदीषु शरावोदकस्थो यथा भानुरेकः स नित्योपलब्धिस्वरूपोऽहमात्मा य एको विभाति स्वतः शुद्धचेताः प्रकाशस्वरूपोऽपि नानेवदीषु शरावोदगस्थो यथा भानुरेकः स नित्योपलब्धिस्वरूपोऽहमात्मा. The last quarter remaining the same. Sa nityopalabdhiswarupohamatma. Swataha shuddha chetaha. By its very nature, it is so immaculate, pure. Pure consciousness. Pure awareness. Awareness undisturbed. Yaha ekah, that which is one, vibhadi, prakashate, shines. Anyadashrayam vina tishtati chetana swarupatvat. Without any support, that which remains is called ekah. One is not one among the many. One even without any. That is called one. It is not that hundreds of them, there is one among the 100. No, no, no. That is the only one which is independent of everything else, and it shines. Sa ya eko vibhadi swadha shuddha chetaha prakasha swarupaha api, even though it is self-illuminating, nana iva dishu. It appears to be many in many intellects. Even though one, it appears to be many. See, this is the reason when rest of the other religions, they claim that we only have one God. But you Hindus have got so many gods. How is that so many gods? Which one do you worship? Don't you get confused? So many of them are there. So many temples of so many deities. If you take one Sri Rama, and there are various versions of Rama also in the entire country. One Krishna, but various versions of Krishna. Laddu Krishna, Radha Krishna, Bala Krishna, Unni Krishna. So many of them. So, even as many different gods are worshipped, but the philosophy behind that is one alone appearing as many. One consciousness alone is apparently seen as many, and the example that he is giving is Sharava Udaga. Sharava means a small water bowl. Sharava Udaga, meaning the water in a water bowl, in that Ekaha Banuhu Staha. One sun alone is reflected in the water bowls. Many water bowls. Sharavodakasto yata bhanurekaha. Bhanu, Bhanu. Bhanu means sun only. Bhaskaraha, Divakaraha. That sun is only one, but because of its reflection in many bowls, seen to be many. In the same way, there is one consciousness, but in different intellects, it appears to be different. See, understand one thing. In no other religion, the concept of one consciousness functioning through many is accepted. They say there is one God, but jivas are many. One God and many souls. That is the acceptance, that is accepted norm of all religions. God is one, beings are many. There are plants, there are animals, there are aquatic creatures, humans. They do not say there is only one God and there is only one appearing as many. That is called Advaita Vedanta. In Advaita Vedanta, the manyness of the souls is itself questioned. It is like many mirrors, but there is only one person seeing himself as many. That's why he says, Nana iva dishu. Ekaha Shuddha Chetaha. The one alone is. That is why it is said in the Upanishad, Eko Vashi Sarva Bhutantaratma. And in the Kenopanishad, beautifully, the teacher says, Pradibodha Viditam Madam Amrutatvam Hi Vindate. Well, let us take an individual, only you and me. You and me. We have various kinds of thoughts that are arising in our mind throughout the day. What you have been thinking in the morning may not be the one which you would think in the afternoon. That would be different from what you think in the evening, etc. Or what you would be thinking in the home will be different from when you are at work or at gym. Why is that? One intellect has got different kinds of thoughts. Depends upon where you are, with whom you are. What you talk to your friends, you may not talk to your parents. What you talk to your children, you may not talk to your colleagues. Different. The people are different, the situation is different, occasion is different, moods are different, attitudes. So many different thoughts that are happening. But is it not true that you, the one who is behaving differently, speaking differently, is only one? My mind has got many thoughts, but I am one only. I know what I thought in the morning, what I have been thinking in the afternoon, what I will think in the evening, what I thought yesterday, what I thought 10 years back, what I thought when I was youth, what I thought when I was child. I knew. At that time also I knew. Now also I can recall. Why? I'm the same. But the same one who was 25, 30, 40 years old is the same one here. That awareness which I was when I was 5-year-old is the same awareness when I am now 60 or 70-year-old. I'm not 70, but I'm just saying. So when I'm 70 also, I will be thinking, and when I was 5-year-old also, I was thinking. At that time also, I was aware of my thoughts, and now also I am aware of my thoughts. But one more step the Vedanta takes is that the consciousness which is functioning through every intellect is only one. Just like the sun is one, reflections are many. In Kathopanishad, Vayuryateiko bhuvanam pravishtaha Rupam rupam pradirupo bhabuva Ekastada sarva bhutantaratma Rupam rupam pradirupam bahischa. Vayuhu ekaha. There is only one air, one what you call power called wind. Bhuvanam pravishtaha, entering into the earth. Rupam rupam pradirupo babuva. It become many different forms: breeze, wind, tornado, avalanches. So, all those various kinds of winds, various kinds of formations are there of the air also. But it is only one. Another example he gives is Agniryateko bhuvanam pravishtah rupam rupam pratirupo bhabhuva ekastita sarvabhutantaratma rupam rupam pratirupo bahischa. Agnihi ekah, only one fire. It itself having entered the earth, it has become many. Many means what? Every tree is a potential fuel. Every wood piece is a potential fuel. Why it is potential fuel? Fire is inside. Is it that somebody picked up the tree and opened it and put a fire inside? Is it so? After the tree was made, somebody injected fire into that. Is it? The fuel is a fuel because it is potentially, fire is sitting within it. You can't see it, but it is. In other words, the wood is none other than another form of the fire. Because, why do you say that? Because when you put the wood into the fire, what remains? Anything remains there? When it burns, completely gone. So what is that? What is called as wood? Fire. Because firewood. Not Hollywood or Bollywood. Firewood. So the fire, rupam rupam pratirupo bhabhuva. It became many forms. In the same way, sarvabhutantaratma rupam rupam pratirupo bahischa. It is not only inside us as you and me, outside us also. Outside is what? Outside is the entire world. Realization of the truth is to realize not only that I am the self, but everything else is also the same. Not only living being, non-living being is also same. Now you see, when I am talking to you now in the waking state, you are also in the waking state. You are also awake, I am also awake. You are able to hear me, see me, etc. Because I am aware, I am doing this, and you are aware, you are doing that. You are awarefully listening, I am awarefully talking. Now, when we go to the state of deep sleep, I will not be talking like this, or you will not be listening to me like this. Do you mean to say that we don't exist? As far as others are concerned, you are a inert thing there when you are sleeping. You are no better than a log of wood. But you are there. So that very self, even though it is non-expressing at the state of sleep, but it is present as much as it is present right now. In the same way, as much as it is present in me, it is present in a plant, in a tree, in a bird, in a king, in a lion king, in a monkey, in a fish, in the sun, in the moon, in the water. Yad adityagatam tejaha jagad bhasayade akilam yad chandramasi yachagno tat tejo vidhi mamakam. Bhagavan Krishna says that brilliance of the sun, the beauty of the moon, the tejas or the brilliance of the fire, me, my presence. Jagat bhasayate akilam. What? Ekaha suryaha. The one sun which is shining the entire world, that power, that is me. The sun is me, and the moon that cools down everything, one moon, that is me. The fire potentially there in every firewood, that is me. So, in his own words, he says, when Krishna says, that is me, what he means by that? Ekaha sarvabhutantaratma. Eko vibhadi svada shuddha cheta. Pure awareness. Prakashaswarupopi. Even though it is self-brilliant, Nana ivadhishu appears to be in many, many intellects. So, what makes a sinner, what makes a saint is the saint, is not the pure consciousness. It has nothing to do with that. Consciousness is untouched by the sins of a sinner or the saintliness of the saint. That belongs to the buddhi. That belongs to the karma. That belongs to the vasanas. The attitudes and tendencies of the individual, because of which alone that person behaves like that. The same person, when his mind becomes pure, he would not behave like that. It is like a person who is drunk. He will behave differently than when he is not drunk. He may be a best of the engineer or best of the scientist, a best of the artist or best of whoever it be. But the moment he drunk alcohol, he become alcoholic, fully drunk, his behavior, will it not be different from his normal behavior? Why it is so? Because his buddhi has been over influenced by some substance which has deluded him, and so he prattles or he says nonsensical words, etc., behaves idiotically, and then put him to rest for some time. Let him go through that experience, and then after that, next morning, when he wakes up, all normal. And if he happens to see a video recording of his own behavior, is this me? Was this, this is the way I behaved yesterday? Yes, sir, you only. Ashamed. Why you are ashamed? Because this is not me. Oh, this was you, I recorded it. Why is that we are able to understand that because of my alcoholic influence that I behaved like that and now I am not, I can see the difference between the state of mind at that time and state of mind right now. In the same way, when the intellect is influenced by, our personality is influenced by our deep-rooted vasanas and impressions, likes and dislikes and prejudice, opinions, we behave differently, which is not normal. And so, as far as all the Mahatmas are concerned, we are all abnormal. Because we are under the influence of our buddhi and mind, vasanas, tendencies, and so long as we identify with them and behave so idiotically or egoistically, arrogantly, haughtily, and when one comes to realize that that is not me, Sanityopalabdhi swarupohamatma, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupaha aham. When one comes to realize the Shuddha Sattvaha aham, that's what he says, Shuddha Chetaha, that pure awareness, self-illuminating awareness, unpolluted awareness, I am. When he comes to realize, then you look at your own behavior when you were not aware of that. What will you say? This was me. This is how I behaved. You, as a child, cried for little toys and lamented and cried and rolled on the ground, etc. Let us say your parents have videotaped your behavior at that time, as much as you do with your children. Later on, when the child becomes 20, 30 or years old, show the same video to that child, that your son, or you yourself see how you behaved when you were 5-year-old, how you cried for many, many small, little petty things. When now you look at, this is me. Why are you saying that? Why are you not accepting that it was you? I was, but I was stupid. At that time, I consider that as most important thing in my life. But the same you. In the same way, on realization of the higher self, we come to see how foolishly we have behaved. Or, now what we are behaving is foolish. And that we will realize only when one wakes up. That's why Bhagavan Buddha said, Aham Buddha. I woke up. Now I know how foolishly I have been behaving. How passionately I was going behind things. How lustily I wanted things. How prompted my desire I was holding on to things. How arrogantly I have behaved. When do you realize that? Sanithyupalabdhi swarupo amatma. When I come to know my true nature. And you see, that same pure consciousness is the same thing present everywhere. And everybody is behaving according to their buddhi. Even though the pure consciousness which is present in them is the same. The behaviors are different according to the buddhi of the person. Continuing here, the next verse beautifully puts another point here. Yatanek-chakshuprakashoravirna Kramena prakashīkaroti prakāshyam Anekādiyo yastadeka prabodha Sanithyopalabdhi swarupo hamatma Yataneka-chakshuprakashoravirna Kramena prakashīkaroti prakāshyam Anekādiyo yastadeka prabodha Sanithyopalabdhi swarupo hamatma. Yatha Ekah Ravihi, one sun, Aneka Chakshu Prakashaha. He illumines all the eyes. Na Kramena Prakashi Karodi Prakashyam. What is to be illumined, he is not illuminating one by one. What a nice example. When sun comes up in the horizon, sunrise takes place, the moment sunlight comes, it does not start illuminating one by one. At once, everything. The whole planet on that side where the sunrise is rising up, the whole planet is lit up right away there. Ekah chakshuhu aneka chakshu prakashaha. He is illuminating all the eyes together. In fact, as I said earlier also, objects are there but cannot be seen unless there is light. So what is the light of the eyes? Light of the eyes is sun. That is why it is considered as Suryaha is Chakshoho Devata. Chakshu Devata is sun. Because without the sunlight, forget about the lamp and other things. Without the sunlight, there cannot be the ability of seeing for the eyes. In fact, it is not illuminating in the eyes, illuminating the objects for the eyes. But while it illuminates all the objects, it is not one by one it illuminates. Kramena na prakashi karoti. Prakashyam vishayam. Na kramena prakashi karoti. In the same way, aneka diyah, many intellects, yaha tata eka prabodha. There is only one consciousness. Many intellect, one consciousness, like one sun, many eyes. So many eyes are compared here as for many intellects, and one sunlight is compared here for one consciousness. So the consciousness in me is the consciousness in you, and other than consciousness, whatever you are, and other than consciousness, whatever I am, they are not true. They are false. They are temporary. And when you reject the temporary aspect of both of us, what remains? Oneness. That is the message of Vedanta. एक ही है, अनेक नहीं है. अनेक है, just temporarily they are there. Temporarily there are many people, many things. And why they are temporary? Because they are changing. What is nature of temporariness? It is not in one condition at any given point of time. It changes the condition, one condition to another within no time. When you say, I have only a temporary job, meaning what? Anytime I will be fired. There is nothing called permanent job anyways. But if you are saying that my temporary job, because say daily wages, one morning you go work and then evening you get the wages, and tomorrow morning I'm not sure whether I will be able to get this job or not. So that is, that is temporary. Situational, momentary. So our existence as mind, intellect, etc., body, mind, intellect is a temporary, but only permanent thing that we have, which never leaves us, is awareness. Nityopalabdhi Swarupaham. So now you look at it carefully. What is that which is able to make my eyes able to see is the light. With the eyes, I see an object. Now, that light is illuminating that object, whatever it be. And the light that is emanating from that object, reflected by that object, is coming to me, to the eyes. And eyes record that there is an object. Now, I have explained to you earlier also, when I am looking at an object, the object remaining there, what comes to my eyes is the light reflected by that object. If there is a mirror piece there, that light that is falling on the mirror starts reflecting, and I see a bright light there, I know that there is a mirror. Why? The light is reaching me intensely. Whereas there is a dark black cloth. That dark cloth cannot reflect as much light as that mirror can do. But that also I see. Which the dark cloth also I see. But the light reflected from the dark cloth is not reaching as intensely as the other one. So what am I seeing? I am not seeing the object. I am seeing the reflection of the sunlight. In the same way, consciousness illuminating all thoughts. What thoughts you remember and what thoughts you do not remember. During the day you have gone through many things, but at the end of the day, what do you remember? All things that you are thought through you would not remember. What intensely affected you, you'll remember. Somebody said something which you didn't like, or some beautiful thing you saw that you remember. Why is it that certain things only you remember and certain things you do not remember, or remember very vaguely? Because the consciousness emanating from that very thought is less or intense. If it is less, you vaguely remember. If it is intense, you will remember very intensely. It can be negative, it can be positive also. So, what we remember is a reflection of consciousness being experienced as thoughts. It is thoughts that are none other than the various degrees of reflections of consciousness. Such as the objects that are perceived by the eyes are nothing but various degrees of reflection of the sunlight. But even then, there is only one sunlight illuminating all objects. Similarly, there is one consciousness illuminating all the buddhis. Anekadiyo yastadeka prasrabodah. There is only one awareness illumining many intellects. That awareness I am. Sanityopaladhiswarupohamatma. That pure awareness, ever present awareness, I am. Beautiful discussion. Few more verses are there, and next Sunday is actually Shankara Jayanti. Bhagavan Shankara's Jayanti next Sunday. So we'll continue our text next week also, Sunday. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.